Words like enlightenment, self-realization, awakening sound like experiences. I had an awakening experience. I had an enlightenment experience. I had an experience of self-realization. But what exactly is an experience? Because when we are talking about something as profound, as transcendental, as enlightenment, which has no parallel to any of our daily experiences, it is its own thing. There is a moment of enlightenment, and then there is the description of that enlightenment, trying to express it in words. But that experience itself cannot be captured in words to an extent that to even call it an experience is false. To understand enlightenment and then to inquire into the nature of dreaming related to enlightenment. Is enlightenment the end of all dreams, or is it the beginning of conscious dreaming? We have to know what enlightenment is. And even before knowing what enlightenment is, we have to know what an experience is. The more clearly we understand the word experience, at least it would be possible to intellectually eliminate those experiences that are not enlightenment. What is experience in its most simplistic form? It is a recollection. It seems like experience is something totally new. It's a new experience. I went to this new place. I had this new experience. I went on this new adventure. Well, if it's a new thing, how are you recollecting that experience? How is it even registering in your mind as an experience? If it has nothing prior to compare it with, if it has no precedence, it's a totally new experience, how can you call it an experience? This is to the extent that we don't understand even the simplest functions of the mind. What is it? What is memory? What is experience? What is recollection? We get it all confused. When you say, I had this new experience, go a little deeper into that experience, you will see it is not a new experience at all. It is just a slightly different experience of an experience you've had before. You go to a new place, yes, in words and in language, you can say it's a new place. But how much of what you have experienced is really new? If you have seen the sunrise, you've seen it before. If you've seen buildings, you've seen them before. If you've interacted with people, you've seen people before. It's not a new experience. It's a new variation of an old experience. Same with all emotions. When we experience pain, when we experience pleasure, we are not experiencing a new emotion. We are experiencing a known emotion in a new way. Almost all our experiences, in fact, leaving enlightenment out, all our experiences are repetitive experiences. They are not new experiences. Even the ones we call new experiences have an embedding of old experiences, memory of old experiences, impressions of old experiences. It's not a new experience at all. An experience is not new to an extent that you can call an experience a recollection. All experiences are recollections of past experiences triggered by what you're experiencing. That is why it registers, because it is part of our memory. It is part of our structure of thinking. It is part of our mind. If an experience cannot be recollected as memory, it does not register as experience. You can't even talk about it, because where would you find a memory of it? Enlightenment is not an experience because it is the only totally new experience you can have. But at the same time, it's not new at all. It is your most original, basic, fundamental nature. It is you. And yet, when you experience it for the first time without any interference of memory, past expressions, reflections, just pure experience of the now, it registers in its own unique way. In fact, when it's actually happening, when you are experiencing a moment of enlightenment, you are not even there as an entity to reflect on it. There is no subject object separation. All experiences are recollections where this subject object division is necessary. Someone has to be there to say, I had this experience. Enlightenment is a moment when this subject object duality disappears. There is no one there to say, I'm having this experience, because that entity, that thing that is having that experience is the experience. So, hypothetically, if you were to say, I, okay, the I is still there. In all other experiences, something is being experienced by the I. A thought, a desire, an emotion, new colors, new feelings, new sensation. It's all being experienced by you, let's say the I. In enlightenment, what is this I experiencing? It is experiencing itself. There is nothing else there to experience. Everything is this I. So much so that you can't even call it an experience, because to say this I is having an experience of I, you are dividing the experience from the one who is experiencing it. And no such division exists. This is why enlightenment cannot be described in words. It's not a flash of light. It's not passing through a beautiful heavenly garden. There is no separation between the one who's experiencing enlightenment and the experience of enlightenment. Everything has merged into one thing. That one thing, we can put it in many different words, because we really cannot describe it. We describe it in our own human language. It is enlightenment, a moment when you realize something, self-realization, awakening. But all these words are negative words that are flowing from the mind to the experience, not from the experience to the mind. When you refer to enlightenment as self-realization, you're already assuming the self. And you're saying that self was ignorant, it did not know itself, now it's realizing itself, that is why it's self-realization. Now, in an enlightened state, there is no self, there is no realization, there is no ignorance. So how can this description apply to enlightenment? It applies only from an identified state of consciousness, which is our state, identified with the body, identified with the mind. It's like trying to describe pure water. When we say it's colorless, we are not describing the water at all. We are simply saying we know what the water is not. A soft drink which tastes a certain way, which has a certain color, we know it's not pure water. And then we can extrapolate from there and say, if we remove this taste, if we removed all these colors, there is pure water. And even then, because we know what pure water looks like, what it tastes like, we can talk about it. And try extrapolating the experience of pure water if you are living in a world of soft drinks. There is no such thing as pure water. You take bath in soft drinks, you drink soft drinks, it rains soft drinks, oceans of soft drinks. You have no experience of a colorless, tasteless, odorless liquid. Now, how will you describe it? That is the problem with enlightenment. You can put it in words. You can say, yes, water is pure. It's an idea though. You can say, water is colorless. It's tasteless. It is the purest thing. But you don't have an experience of it. Because you don't have an experience of it, there is nothing really enticing about it. There is nothing really spectacular about it. The spectacularness comes when you experience that water, when you drink that pure water for the first time. Then you won't be describing it as it's a colorless, tasteless, odorless liquid. You will say it is life. When I'm thirsty, the only thing that can keep me alive is water. is this pure water. That is what I want. I don't want soft drinks. I want this. Which means it is life. It represents life. It represents a part of life that is pure. Only life can nourish life. Consciousness, when experienced in its pristine purity, clarity, without a thought, registers as something else. It's not an experience, it's not a realization. It is the end of all experiences. It is the end of all duality. It is the end of all recollection. It is a moment of completeness which cannot be put in words. It is the only moment. Again, why I'm using the word moment? Because there's no time there. That moment can last for eternity. That moment can last for 10 minutes. Or it can last for a few seconds. But when you are there, even that language is also wrong. You're not there. But for the sake of description, let's say you're there in that experience of enlightenment. There's no time, there's no space, there's no three-dimensional world of experiences. Hence, it is just a moment. But when you experience that moment, you will know that it is the experience of eternity.